Call to order the July 18th City of Hammond Board of Public Safety meeting. Roll call. Here. Here. Item 4, approval of the minutes of the meeting of June 27th.
I'd like to make a motion I'd like to make a motion that we defer action on the minutes.
All in favor? Aye. Item 5A, bid opening on the Hammond Calumet Outdoor Sports Complex.
We have 4 bids. First bid is from Gary M. Construction Company Incorporated, P.O. Box 64879, Gary, Indiana. They have their non-inclusion affidavit signed. They have their Form 96. Their bid bond. We're going to only read the base bid because there's so many different alternates. We'll have the secretary stay here after the meeting in case anyone wants to examine the packages. The base bid is $3,963,500. The next bid is from Larson Danielson Construction Company Incorporated, 302 Tyler Street, LaPorte, Indiana. You have their non-inclusion affidavit signed. You have their Form 96. And you have their bid bond. Their base bid is $4,110,000. Next bid is from Hassey Construction Company Incorporated, 10 Lincoln Avenue, P.O. Box 300, Calumet City, Illinois. You have their non-inclusion affidavit. You have their bid bond. And they have their Form 96. And their bid is $4,400,000. Final bid is from Goff Incorporated, 2200 East 88 Drive, Maryville, Indiana. You have their non-inclusion affidavit. You have their Form 96. Is there somebody here from that company? Is the bid bond, do you know what sequence it's in? Huh?
Toward the back, the third.
The third package?
Yes.
Find one in there?
No.
Well, we can just read the bid. We'll verify that there's a bid bond in there during the bid tabulation process. Their bid is $4,170,000. I'd like to make a motion that these be referred to the consulting engineer for tabulation and recommendation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item B, change order number 8 from First Group Engineering, Columbia.
Excuse me, could somebody take the bids outside so we can see what the alternates are, because they can affect who is the low bidder?
Well, we're going to do that at the end of the meeting. We're going to have them here. She's going to stay with them and then give you an opportunity to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Item B, change order number 8 from First Group Engineering for Columbia Avenue, Michigan to Chicago.
This is an increase in the project based on the asphalt material used in the project. The increase is $22,477.50, 80% federal, so our share is $4,495. I'd like to make a motion to approve the change order. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item C, contract with Hassey Construction for the reconstruction of California Avenue from 167th to 165th. Sorry, Stan.
Contract is in the amount of $1,181,730.64. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the contract.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item D, agreement with Garcia Consulting.
This is supervision for that project.
$100,847.
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item E, we have a Mylar with the Hune Street addition to the city of Hammond.
That's this over here. We'll just sign it after the meeting. I'd like to make a motion that we sign. It's gone through the plan commission and everything's been approved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item F, we have 2 change orders for the 169th Street reconstruction project.
Yeah, one is for concrete pavement removal that was discovered under the street. It was determined that this item requires extra payment. Also, the installation of a 20-inch water main live tap to maintain water pressure throughout the neighborhood during the project. There's some credits involved. Total value to change orders, $110,305.75. It'll be, our share will be 20% of that. The second change order, because they were done separately, is the live tap portion, and the cost on that is $37,377, and that'll be 20% of that'll be our share. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve both of the change orders.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Item G, we have a recommendation for alley drainage improvements from Nice Engineering, recommending that we award the contract to the low bidder, who is McAllister Incorporated, with a low bid of $63,962 for the construction of various French drains throughout the city.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve that contract with McAllister.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item H. We have correspondence from 2nd District Councilman Jack Ulacki requesting the transfer of $95,000 from his gaming funds to the engineering department for an overlay on Columbia Avenue from Goslin to 143rd.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve that work.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item I, we have a request for bid dates of July 25th and August 1st for the demolition of 2500 New York Avenue.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve those advertising and bidding dates.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Item J, we have correspondence from Chief Miller requesting the demotion of Zaney, Howard, and Kender and their associated specialty pays for their Is there a motion to approve the relinquishment of specialty pays?
I'll make the motion that we
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item K, we have correspondence from Ms. Vilcana advising that she was not properly noticed of her hearing.
So she wants a new hearing date.
It appears she does. It appears that she was never noticed via mail and received a phone call from somebody in the building department advising of a hearing, and
This is a 4-unit. We're taking back to a 2-unit. They were supposed to bring in some drawings. The drawings were inadequate. Mr. Cook tried to contact them, let them know that we needed more specific drawings. Evidently, that was not notice, service. So basically, she wants to revisit the fact that the board affirmed the removal of 2 units.
What's the recommendation from your department?
Recommendation is if there's any way of making it a 4-unit, they're going to need more adequate drawings. In the meantime, this has been going on for some time. It's my belief that making it a 4-unit would include zoning approval and a lot of time and effort, money. If they're willing to do that, come up with some decent drawings that will show how they're going to do that.
Mr. Kern, I don't believe that's the issue. I believe the issue is that you brought a case to the board and indicated to the board that you guys had effectuated service. We held a hearing on the notice, assumed that the owner didn't appear and was properly noticed when they weren't.
They were
correct?
noticed. They were noticed. They had been here before and brought the drawings and was told that they needed to be drawings, brought the drawings. So they knew. Evidently, they saying that they did not have proper service on the continuance of that.
Mr. President, perhaps just in the interest of fairness and due process, we should set this over for maybe next week or the week after and send a written notice.
I agree.
I do too.
This is such a long meeting, you want the bidders review those documents, maybe I can get the engineer to go with them, go to engineering and let them view them.
Why don't you make a motion?
Like one
There's
of the
4
back.
copies. There's 4 copies. Give them one of each. There's 4 copies of this in each package.
consultant step up here? Since this meeting looks like it's
How about K? We're on K.
Okay,
K.
well,
Take care of K first.
okay.
We're in the middle of it.
Which weeks were today? Would that be August 1st, Mr. President?
How about a date, Jeff?
Make a motion that we,
Ed?
this for August 1st, item K.
August 1st.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Please make sure that the person is properly notified, like a letter, certified letter, not just a phone call? Okay.
Okay, out of sequence here, I know there's a bunch of anxious bidders here who would like to view these bids. So we're gonna have a representative from DLZ take a copy of the bids down to the engineering department. You guys could take a look at them. This is a much longer meeting than I thought it was gonna be. Who you want? There's 4 in there, right? Everybody know where the engineering department is? On the main floor?
Back there.
I know they all want to take them. Just make sure nothing disappears. Just use the big table down in engineering. Well, she's got the package. You know, as long as you have enough to do the tabulation, if not, after they review them, if you want to hang around, she could make comments. Make sure you got what you need.
I got you.
All right, item L. Correspondence from 6725 Nebraska requesting that his rental registration hearing be reheard.
Is this one that was reheard? This was heard prior to, right? Or no? Yes, yes, it was, right?
Yeah, this was heard before. He appeared, we adjudicated the matter, and he's asking us to rehear it.
Mr. President, did he appear at his previous hearing?
Oh, yeah, this is 2012. He appeared in 2012. We waived his fee, his late fee in 2012.
We'll check to see if he's registered for 13 or...
He was late again, second year?
We just gentleman had some other issues with the property that we can take care of too, which I think was in relation to 12.
I'm gonna make a motion that we not rehear this, claim. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item M, we have a rental registration hearing on 4422 Clark Avenue. Any interested parties for 4422 Clark Avenue, please come forward. (4422 Clark). This is your appeal of your rental registration fees for 4422 Clark Avenue. This is your opportunity to explain to the board why you don't believe that a registration fee or a late fee should be assessed on this unit.
Oh, it's not that I don't believe. It's last year I didn't do it because my husband usually do it, and he passed away and he was real sick. and he passed away in August, and he usually do these things, and that's why we didn't do it.
Just 1 year?
Huh?
It's just 1 year that you missed?
Yeah, just 1
Or in
year.
all previous years?
Is it a 1 unit or 2 unit? What is it?
Two units.
He used to handle all this stuff for you?
Yes, he used to do that.
I make a motion that we waive the late fee and the registration.
For both years?
Well, just 12, right?
2012.
I'll second.
There's been a motion to waive a late fee and a registration fee for 2012.
But she must register within 30 days for 12, right?
You can't waive a registration fee and then ask her to register.
Make a motion that we waive the late fee, but you must register the unit within the next 30 days for 2012.
Is
Okay.
there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. You have 30 days to register your unit and pay for it. Otherwise, our order will be vacated and the late fee will be assessed. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item N, rental registration hearing at 1842 Michigan. 1842 Michigan. Any interested parties, please come forward. 1842 Michigan.
Hello. Yes, I was under a lot of stress because I was working long hours and I get a little sick. So I was, taking some tests and everything. I really forgot all about. When I find out, I thought I did pay it, but I forgot all about. When I find out, it was too late.
Anything, Nick?
I don't have this property, I believe, Matt. Matt, do you have this? Registration 1842 Michigan.
Mm-hmm. 1842.
I don't know anything about it.
Understanding, who is living in this property?
My health brother. And last year I registered, it's only this year because I really forgot. Like I said, I was under a lot of stress and I thought I did pay him, but I forgot all
It's
about it.
occupied by immediate family.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's there. My sister, my brother,
How many
my
units?
health brother.
How many units?
It's two. He's living in the front. The one in the back, I using it right now is storage. Mm-hmm. But if I have registered too, I will.
I recommend if we can get an affidavit on file for who's staying there, contact information, get this updated.
Your brother, you said your brother lives there?
Mm-hmm.
Does he pay you rent?
Well, he's gonna start doing it this year. Last year, because he wasn't working, but he was taking care of the place because when it was empty, they break a couple of times. But he's helping me. He was helping me to do grass and taking care.
I make a motion that we waive the late fee, and you'll have to pay the $80 registration fee for 2012.
That's fine.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You have 30 days to register your unit. If you fail to register it in 30 days, our order will be vacated and the late fee will be assessed.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Item O, rental registration hearing at 1020 Becker Street. Any interested parties, please come forward for 1020 Becker.
Good morning. I'm attorney Amanda Hires on behalf of the owner of the property. We requested this hearing to discuss the late fees that were assessed. Is there a particular form in which I should address the council? Mr. Perillo and his wife are in an active Chapter 13 bankruptcy, which was filed April 19th of this year. He purchased the property that is the subject of this hearing on August 6th of 2012. When he purchased the property, it was from a trustee. I'm assuming those individuals that previously owned it had passed away. There were two tenants in it when he purchased it. He did subsequently receive water in his name, and he was unaware that he needed to register the property at that time. He through the bankruptcy process is going to keep the property and would like to have the late fees waived so that he can properly register the property and thereafter schedule an inspection with the inspector. I do have any proper documentation that you would like as reference for his bankruptcy. Essentially, when we filed the bankruptcy, an automatic stay went into place, which sort of put a hold on all of his assets until the 341 meeting of creditors was held. It was subsequently held in May. Thereafter, a plan was submitted to the court which would allow him to keep the property. He does owe some taxes to the Lake County Treasurer on the property, and that's being paid back through his Chapter 13 plan.
I think the one issue is that the bankruptcy was filed April 19th. The rental registration was due April 15th.
And I can also speak to that. When he purchased the property in 2012, he was unaware at the closing, nobody informed him that these rental registrations were due and owing. I believe he was just under the mistaken assumption that when he turned the water on in his name, that would have been something that should have been addressed. In the bankruptcy process, the court looks at your financial dealings up to 90 days prior to you filing bankruptcy. Essentially, from January 19th through April 19th, the court looked at his essentially any major transactions or items that would have been paid and were due and owing. So I do understand while he filed 4 days after it was due, essentially his finances were in scrutiny well before that date. When you prepare to file bankruptcy, there are certain steps and things that need to be taken. He is in a position at this point, since he's keeping the property, to properly register and work with the inspector to get what needs to be done accomplished.
Does he own any other properties in the city?
Not in this city. He does own rental properties in other cities where rental registrations are not required.
Two unit or one unit?
I believe it is a 4-unit. I'm not entirely sure.
One unit, Billy?
No, I believe it is a 4-unit. That's what I believe I would need to inspect it to make sure it's a legal 4-unit. I'd like to maybe suggest that the fact that there's 4 units and that the fine would be $2,000, that maybe we could assess one late fee and work from there. My suggestion.
Is there a motion by the board?
Make the motion that we waive the late fee, but that he must pay the $80 per unit registration.
Usually I would get that.
Is there a second? Is there a second? The motion dies for lack of a second.
I'd like to make a motion that we waive 3 of the 4 late fees, and that registration be paid for, and 1 of the late fees.
Second.
There's been a motion that 3 of the 4 late fees be waived and 1 late fee be assessed on the property. Is there any further discussion?
If I may,
Yes, ma'am.
prior to your order, because he's in a bankruptcy and his assets are technically frozen, anything outside of nominal figures would need to be approved by the bankruptcy court. A late fee of $500 would need to be something that would have to be submitted and litigated in court.
Any idea how long that would take? I understand.
Do you agree with that assessment, Chris, as an attorney?
I mean, I don't know if they consider $500 nominal or not. That just depends on his other dealings. If he owns other properties, you know, it sounds like he's not just a person who has one property. So they might consider this nominal in light of the fact of his total assets. If he owes a 4-unit here, 4-unit there, 4-unit, then $500 isn't as much as a person who lives in a 1-bedroom shack.
If I may, I do have a copy of his plan. He's paying over $6,000 a month to the trustee. With his income and expenses, they're really is not that amount available pursuant to his schedules to pay. I would ask the board to consider, in light of the fact that, and the $6,000, I can get into what it's for, but it's not just for rental properties, okay? In light of the fact that he purchased it well after the registration requirement for the previous year, I would just ask that the board consider waiving all 4 late fees, allowing him 30 days to pay the rental registration, subsequently working with the inspector, Nick, to, or Kelly, apologize, to hash out any inspection issues that may arise. Because, you know, to be quite frank, if there are issues with inspection that he didn't know about when he purchased the property, that may be something that he looks at to possibly surrender at that point through the bankruptcy.
Mr. President, perhaps it would be best then to not make a decision on rental registration until after the inspection is completed, because he might only have viable 3 units, or 2 units, or 1 unit.
Any further discussion? Is there any amendments to your motion based on the recommendation from the city attorney?
I'll rescind my motion based on Chris's comment.
Second.
You rescind your second? Very good. Now, is there a motion by the board on this matter?
May I suggest 30 days, get the inspection done, do the necessary paperwork. Having a little knowledge of that area in a 4-unit, there may be some issues that we may be bringing from the board anyway.
So I'll make a motion to reconsider in 30 days.
Do you have a date, Mr. Smith?
The date would be August 15th.
August 15th. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll see you on August 15th. You'll have had an inspection. At that point, we'll determine how many units are actually in the building, and I guess the board will make a decision then.
Okay,
Thank you.
so come back on August 15th.
Yes. And
Needs to get the inspection
have an
done.
inspection in between now and then on the property.
Okay.
It might turn out he doesn't have 4 units, it might turn out he has 3. One could be a basement or something.
Okay. Item P, we have correspondence from Attorney Murphy requesting hearing on Ogden Street be continued to August 1st, when we'll be hearing some of his other matters. Is there a motion to grant his request?
I'll make a motion that we grant his request.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item Q, we have a hearing on property at 4610 Pine. 4610 Pine. Anybody for 4610 Pine?
This is, we're working through an agreement with Nancy Catella and Mr. Cook on helping make these safe units,
You need 30 days.
30 days.
Can we have 30 days, Mr. President?
August 15th?
15th again?
Reset for August 15th. Item R, 1916 Calumet Avenue.
Can we get that reset to August 15th, please?
Reset for August 15th. Item S, notice of violation at 4229 Dearborn. Anybody for 4229 Dearborn?
Yeah, I've been speaking with the owners. They are in agreement. This is for the removal of the second floor attic apartment. Currently, it sits vacant. It is an owner-occupied home. They use it for storage. However, they were considering selling the property. So I would ask that the board affirm the removal of the apartment with a deed restriction when the owners tend to sell the property within the year.
What's he storing?
It's just household stuff. They are in agreement with the removal. You know, they do understand. They said they would take care of what they could, but at the same time, they're wishing to sell the property. They understand they can only sell it as a single-family home. You know, so we'll be talking with them to get a deed restriction when they sell the property.
bought it as is. We never made any changes. We don't rent it out. Years ago, I was questioned about it as well, and I sent a notarized letter to that person in Norda, and I was told it was fine. We've never rented it out. We use it to store extra furniture.
Do anything, I don't know why we're going into a single family home. Like, this is a single family home, right? It's not a rental, it's owner occupied.
Right, but it sits as a 2-unit, and with that, their intent to sell the property, if a new owner comes in and then they rent out that apartment that is illegally created, now there becomes a problem, because now it becomes a 2-unit property that's illegal. It's set up as an apartment on the second floor.
Does your order require that the current owner expend any money or resources or time on their
No.
unit other
Well, we
than a deed restriction?
Correct, that's all that we're requesting at this point, because they
You're
don't.
agreeable to that?
Pardon?
You are agreeable, right?
I guess I don't really understand that. If we're going to put in money, my house isn't really worth much, so.
We'll
Nick-
talk about when you go to sell the property,
Oh,
that
that's a
the new,
single-family home?
correct, that the new
Yeah, that's fine.
purchasers know that it's a single-family home.
Yes, absolutely.
From the pictures, it appears that we are asking them to expend resources on the unit, to remove gas lines, remove water lines, remove electrical boxes. Why not just a deed restriction? This is an owner-occupied, single-family home.
That's what that way, when it gets recorded that it's a single-family home, so the new purchaser comes in, they understand what the city's.
I understand what the deed restriction does. I'm asking,
Right.
why are we not just asking a owner-occupied, single-family resident to place a deed restriction if they're
That's what
amenable
we
to it?
discussed. That's what we discussed.
On your
with
order,
them.
it's showing that the water meter, water lines, and gas lines need to be removed, which means this lady here, who is a single-family owner-occupied resident, is going to have to
Right.
remove these things and expend resources to do so.
Okay, so you would like me to word it as just.
Amend the order.
Amend the order then?
Yes,
Okay.
please. I'm trying to save you some money. You're welcome.
So if we can set this over 30 days, please.
Yes, please.
Is there anything I need to do?
No, they're,
Thank you.
No problem.
All right,
Talk to you later,
thank
Ms. Martinez.
you.
I'll let you know we'll get it.
Thank you.
No problem.
item T, notice of violation at 1930 West Park.
We can set this over for 30 days, same situation, just, with that. Thank you.
Item U, 845 Sibley.
Yes, we're asking for the removal of the second floor apartment, no permits to convert to a 2-unit, and no fire separation between the units.
I bought it back in '88. It was already,
Who are you?
my name is Frank Bewley, sorry, sir. I'm the owner of 845 Sibley, sorry. But since '88 and beyond, was built as far as I know, it was built as a 2-unit. It was built back in 1892. It has stairs, it has a bathroom, living room, kitchen, 3 bedrooms. And I was assuming when I bought it, it was a 2-unit. And that's the way it was sold to me, as a 2-unit. And also, sirs, I'm also in bankruptcy, and I relinquished this property for foreclosure also. Since '88, and it has never been brought up. I've had inspections before, and it has never been brought up that it was not a 2-unit. I've had,
Kelly, do you know if it's been registered as a 2-unit since '88?
I believe actually his brother is living there.
oh no, both of my sons, both sons are living in the unit at this time. But it was rented before as a 2-unit. I have tenants in both upstairs and downstairs.
Tax record showed as a single family.
You're paying taxes as a single-family home. That should have been an indication that it was only a single-family home.
1,900 or no more than that. Well, like I said, I was assuming that it was a 2-unit because that's the way it was sold to me. And like I said, I had inspections, and no one has ever said it was not a 2-unit up until this point. And to me, it doesn't matter because like I said, it's being foreclosed on anyway, so.
It concerns us because even though there was a foreclosure, someone else was gonna buy it, they was over sale, but the other was a legal, let's say, 2-unit again. It was built in 1827. That indicates that it was built as a 2-unit.
Excuse me. It was built in 1892.
If it's a legal 2-unit, it was registered all these years before the 2-unit. It'd be not 2. I understand it's.
One was, we can't say when it was created, but when they created without permits, without inspections, without creating a fire separation, it was
Let's
necessary.
say if you guys renew the thing every year since 88 as a 2-unit.
Have 10,000 rental units in the city of Hammond. I got 6 inspectors. I can inspect every one of them. When we get drawn to these properties, this is a common occurrence. This is something that unfortunately, he bought as a 2-unit because it's never legally heard of.
So it's your intention then, not to attempt to redeem this property through your bankruptcy?
Correct.
Okay. And you're not adverse to the city entering an order for the removal of the 2 apartment units then, because?
Yeah, I don't care. I just,
That makes that easy. Is there a motion by the board?
So moved.
It's been motioned by Mr. DeStatney to affirm the findings in order for the removal of the, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Item V, 584 Sibley. 584 Sibley?
Yes, we're asking for the removal of 1 first floor and 1 second floor apartment. This is a 4-unit that we're asking to go back to a 2-unit. No permits to convert, no fire separation. There actually was a fire in the second floor apartment, I believe. Kind of unsafe.
Is there anybody here from that property? I'll make a motion to confirm them.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item W, 941 Chicago.
941 Chicago, we're asking for the removal of 1 first floor, second floor, third floor apartment. First floor is more or less considered the basement. All 5 units there were marked uninhabitable. It's a pretty dangerous situation. No permits to convert, no fire separation throughout. Needs a lot of work. We're asking to go from a 5-unit to a 2-unit.
Motion to confirm their.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item X, 5613 Claude.
Yes, we're asking for the removal of the basement apartment and the second floor apartment. This is the owner. He does live there on the second floor. It's a single-family home that's been cut up. No permits to convert, no fire separation, glass block windows in the basement.
Okay, I got this house about 8 months ago. I got it for my brother, and I got it the way it is, and I called the inspectors.
What's your name?
Ruben Vargas.
Matt, is it registered? What's it registered at?
Should have it in front of you there. Let me take a look.
You're living on the
I think it
second
is
floor?
registered.
I'm sorry, Matt?
I don't believe it is registered.
You're living on the second floor? Is anybody living?
Yes, I live in the second floor.
Is there anybody living in the first floor or the basement?
Nobody in the basement. My son was living in there, but he's out for there.
He What?
This, my son living in the basement.
Yeah.
But the inspector told me that he cannot live in the basement, so he moved out.
This is a single family.
So Matt, you're asking for it to go from a, down to a 1?
From a 3-unit basically to a single-family home, correct?
Make a motion that we put in their finding.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
So the house, I think the house is 2 units. So you mean make the house only 1 apartment, the whole house?
Not one apartment, one house, one house.
One house.
Yes.
So it's not way they stay like the way it was like 2 apartments.
Probably not. You'll have to speak with the building department and
Okay.
talk to them if there's any way to make that happen.
Okay, because in here in the paper saying the forever fees in the house before something, no got a permit for do the plumbing, the electricity. This is what it said, and I got my friend, he go check in the electricity, and he say the electricity looks fine. The plumbing, I don't take nobody, so I don't know. It look like somebody do work in the basement. In the second floor, this is the way it was, you know. But the basement look like somebody do work in there.
We'll have to speak with the building department.
Okay,
to Make sure.
all right, all right. So I wait and talk. I waiting here, or?
We can let
You can make an appointment with them.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item Y, we have a license agreement with him sales and service for groundwater monitoring.
I'd make a motion that we approve the agreement.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item Z, we have a agreement with Wide Open West Cable. Been approved by our city attorney. Is there a motion to approve the contract with Wide Open West?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye, motion carries. Item 2A, we have correspondence received from Gary Gleason related to some residential-only parking signs.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve Gary's request to place the residential-only parking sign.
All in favor? Aye, motion carries. Item 2B, we have amusement devices.
There's a second request here. Janet has been requesting two one-way signs near the exits of the Dunkin' Donuts and the Walgreens. Yeah, I spoke to her about it, and I spoke to Gary, so I'm gonna make a motion that we approve that second request also.
All in favor? Aye. Item 2B, we have amusement devices submitted for approval. Is there a motion to approve them and enter them into the record?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 2C, we have correspondence from Mr. Lampkin at 1749 Calumet, requesting resident-only parking signs. Is there a motion to refer that to the street department?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Item 2D, we have correspondence from Operation Rainbow Push, requesting permission to demonstrate in front of the federal courthouse.
This has been referred to the federal marshal since some of this is federally owned property. So I think if we're going to approve it, we should approve it subject to their concurrence.
Is that your motion, Mr. DeStatney?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 2E, we have correspondence from Vesmar Media Group requesting temporary closures of areas in downtown Hammond for their annual Beatles Fest.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the closures for the Beetle Fest, and that they work with Gary Gleason, especially on the rimback closure, because I think they need some advance warning on that closure. They can't close it right at the festival. They need to close it at the next street to the west.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item 2F, we have correspondence from Mount Zion Church requesting the street closure on Howard for their Youth Day kickoff celebration.
Make a motion that we honor their
Is there a
Half
second?
has already been approved by the chief.
Okay, is there a second?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Oh, there's a second request on that downtown one to temporarily suspend ordinance disallowing parking in city lots after 11 p.m. I don't think that that can be done in time for this, right?
I don't think this board has the authority to
You're right.
suspend a city ordinance that was passed by the Hammond Common Council. Ms. Cantar?
Mr. President, all I can tell you is right now, as it stands today, there is no ordinance. It may or may not pass at the 22nd, or it hasn't passed yet. So I don't know if perhaps we should wait to consider this until after the ordinance passes and move it to next week's meeting.
But in any case, it's not our decision.
Well, it's set for third and final reading on the 22nd.
Monday.
Do we want to defer action on this then?
Even if we defer action on this and it passes or not passes, our board still doesn't have the authority to.
Unless there's something in the ordinance that says there is.
Let's reconsider this after.
Why don't we refer his request to the Hammond Common Council, who's going to be
That's a good idea.
deciding on the ordinance on Monday. Good?
Did you want a motion to that effect?
Nah.
Okay, we'll just do it.
All right. We get wild and crazy now when we get to double letters in the agenda. I like that. Item 2G, we have correspondence from Franciscan Alliance requesting permission to block Industrial Plaza Drive for an employee picnic on their grounds. Interstate Plaza Drive.
Interstate Plaza Drive actually is a private street.
Oh.
Because it's access to their property. It's fine with us.
Sounds like a motion.
Yeah, I think they're also asking for barricades to assist in the closure, so we can also refer that over to Gary Gleason, because I think he's done it in the past.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 2H, we have a request from the Whiting Robertsdale Chamber of Commerce.
I think they want you to be in the lawnmower brigade.
No, I think they're just requesting a parade route. There's a lot of fluff around the request, so.
Yeah, it's a big, long word letter.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the request for a parade route?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's an all-around good request.
Motion carries. Item 2I, correspondence from Councilman Higgs requesting an inspection of 936 Highland.
I'd like to make a motion that be referred to the building department.
Parks Department.
That address,
Building department, that's on private property.
that address has been cited, we uprooted a tree, along with, address on May and Carroll. We're gonna get them on the fast track in front of Judge Harkins, so we get a court order, and then we'll decide if Park Department can cut them, or if we have to enter into a contract.
Very
It's an action, we just have to go in front of the judge with the order.
It's being cut as you speak.
That's correct.
So is that tree on public right of way, or is it on private
It's
property?
lifted up the sidewalk. It was in the private property, but it is
Hammond
raised.
is public property,
That's correct.
probably right behind the sidewalk, right?
Correct.
So the motion is to refer it to the park department, the building department, see what happens.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 2J, we have a conflict of interest statement submitted by the Chief of Police.
That's just for the record, right?
This is indicating that there's going to be a vendor with the City of Hammond that has a familial conflict of interest with the chief. Is there a motion? From the Chief of Police. The declared conflict is that his son-in-law will be contracting with the city to provide training for the Hammond Police Department. The value of the contract will not exceed $4,000 for the SWAT training for 22 officers.
Make a motion that we approve that.
As long as he's brought it out, there's nothing wrong with it. I'll second that.
That it be entered into the record?
Yes.
All in favor? Aye. Item 2K. Attorney Alvarez has requested a appeal hearing on the revocation of the business license at Star Foods.
Set for today?
No, he's requesting the hearing today. I revoked his business license last week.
Mr. President, he had spoken to me yesterday and indicated he'd be faxing over a continuance. I called his office this morning at 8:45 and got the voicemail, and I asked and told him we had not yet received the continuance. However, I do not see him here or anybody here for it. He was requesting 30 days out. It's his intention, his client's intention, to dissolve the corporation and transfer to another person.
It's the pleasure of the board.
Go give it to her.
For the edification of the board, I believe Star Foods was the entity, and maybe Ms. Cantar can elaborate on it, was the, hey.
What's the time on it?
The time is 7:42 on Thursday morning. Star Foods was the entity that was raided by the Hammond Police Department, I believe, and it's located across the street from one of Hammond's public parks. They were found selling synthetic drugs, allegedly.
He says the hearing be continued to April 15th. This is April 15th on there.
He's just asking for 30 days. He's not asking for a particular date. About 1 week.
His intention is to dissolve the corporation, so that was why they requested 30 days.
So if he dissolves the corporation, then he's going to close the business, or what?
The entity that was cited would no longer own the business.
I believe,
We still need a hearing.
I think those are mutually exclusive items. Our hearing on the business license of Star Foods and their intention to dissolve the corporation should have no bearing on one another. I can tell you that our city ordinance states that as long as an appeal is outstanding while a business license is revoked, the business is allowed to continue to operate.
So he is operating
No.
presently.
Yeah, understand, Mr. Smith. Although I revoked his license, once an appeal is requested, the business is allowed to continue to stay open until the appeal is adjudicated.
Make a motion that we continue this till the 25th of July.
Is there a
It's
second?
a week, right? I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. They send Attorney Alvarez correspondence that his appeal or his continuance has been granted, but not for 30 days. Item 2L, garage sale permits.
Make a motion that we approve all the garage.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye, motion carries. Item 6, matters from board members. Is there any matters, Mr. Smith?
Yes, I have a motion to send Gary Gleason to install temporary resident parking from 117th Street to 121st Street on Calumet Avenue and 1 block east or west in either direction during Festival of the Lakes.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Aye, motion carries. Is there any other matters from board members? Is there any new or old business? Item 10, public expression. The meeting is now open to the public. Anybody from the public wishing to address the board, now is your opportunity to do so.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.